like his good normals, like 5C and stuff like that, they're a little slow. They can't. You don't got like instant air backdash JC or 5B backdash or like 2C backdash. All those options. What you do have is your stagger off of 5A or 5A, 2A, 5A. Like that's so like just take for instance you do instant air dash JB or you just nothing or 5AA, like everything you can kind of build off that. And what that does is like you'll see like Aki players do this too. Like when I was fighting Masuda last night, I saw him do this a lot. Is he will go straight for an option to like get you to be thinking or get you to pick something because like all I'm doing here, especially for Adachi, you're just making a block. Like unless they decide to press during pressure and get punished for it, they're not gonna stop blocking. Unless you like do a run up grab or stuff like that. Like that's when you start incorporating that stuff. But there's no rule book on what's gonna open somebody up. There's no like that. It's open to interpretation, I guess is how I would put it. And like it depends on what your opponent is doing. So like if they like to DP after you do this string, then start blocking when when you do that string. Because besides like maybe like you're kind of reaching here when you say like this is the pressure tool. This is how like that's your mix up, right? Or AOA. But it really comes down to what you would call layering, I guess, which is where like say I do this time, but this time I do this. Like depending on how the player reacts to that is gonna depend on if that's gonna work or not. Or maybe they like to jump at that part, so you would do something like 5A, 2A, 5A, wait, 2B. It's like do you kind of see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Like, and you can mix up your frame traps. You can get creative with it. Like one I like is like 2A, 5C. And remember to cancel. You can cancel into 2B off 5C. So if you're close enough, that's a frame trap right there. JB 5C, there's a gap there, and they could get hit for it. And like, if that's a full combo depending on like one combo I'll get pretty often if this hits. Is I'll just go for Heat Riser.
Yeah, you get a full ass high damage conversion.
That's almost 5K. That's pretty good.
Really good. And that's not even optimal. So if you do harder combos, you get even more, I think.
Yeah. I actually don't know what the.
I think you can do slide hit off of that.
Can I ask something real quick?
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen a lot of tournaments and in general streams for this game, and I never understood why all Adachi players when they have to pressure somebody, they go for 5A and then 2A, even though it's not a low.
It's about so that comes down to conditioning as well. Like,
that's conditioning, right?
It's a gapless pressure tool, and there's multiple. So like, okay, take for instance, I do 5A, 2A, 5A, but what if I do 5A, 2A, and then grab? They're expecting to block that second 5A, right? But then you don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or you can do.
It's because it's also -2, making it very good for stagger.
Yeah, so you can do like
stagger. Okay.
Since most of the
stagger
revolve around stagger and just that type of shit. 2A really works well in conjunction with Solace Bucket with its command grab options because it's a really good pick grab setup as well. Because especially deep, you can go straight into C Megidola, and I think can you cancel 2A into 2B? I can't remember.
2A with 2B.
2B?
Can you do
Yeah.
that? Yeah, you can.
You can cancel
And
almost
since
every
2B is
normal.
your main way of calling fuzzies, you can actually use it as well in that situation to call out a fuzzy jump. So 2A just had a lot of options off of it. Alongside it, it just flows really well into 5A, which makes it really good for stagger. Like you can slightly delay when you go into the next 5A, which could also be a frame trap in itself. It's got a lot of options.
Yeah, you can cancel into 5B off that.
Oh yeah, one thing since I don't know if this is like 100% advice, but I personally think Adachi pressure is just significantly better when you're doing like 5A staggered up close and threatening options. So you should mostly use 5B as like a Gatling to call out with a frame trap. I don't feel like you should go into 5B too much since it limits your options. That's just my
Very
personal
bad on
opinion.
whiff.
I would clarify that with saying it depends how many hits of 5B you're letting rock. Because like you can Gatling into quite a few things off 5B, and because it kind of enforces them to block, it's not
Yeah,
you can kind of abuse the pushback on it sometimes to get
yeah.
people
Yeah,
to, because like,
that's
okay,
what I
say you do
use mostly.
say you use
Like
5B and you get the pushback and they go for a whiff punish because they think you're going to like cancel into something else or something. It's just another frame trap. It all comes down to it's just another frame trap option.
yeah.
That's it. It doesn't matter. It all comes down to what they're. That's why I think the gap is so hard to bridge for a lot of players, is because it's hard for players to get their heads around the fact that there's no set way to do it. Like, because like a lot of characters you'll see have their autopilot, like, I'm gonna open you up now kind of shit, like A-Lion. Like, not everybody's gonna block that. So like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. A-Lion. Now you're opened up.
I think Narcon has really easy ways to go into this. Just grab as well.
Yeah,
Even
like,
ignoring. You can just grab like that. His stagger with 5A is autopilot as fuck with 5A.
maybe it's sick and awful too. But like, he can just. There's just so much he can like.
I mean, you kind of get into the mindset that Adachi just needs to forcing condition. Like sometimes I'll even get away with just 5B, let it rock, and then I'll 5B condition that to block.
Exactly. That's exactly. Like, there's no correct way to do it. There isn't.
I mean, it's like sometimes you might even see Adachi players do shit that seems like stupid as fuck, like just repeating buttons on pressure. But it's because the Adachi player has conditioned them in a way that they're either getting them to block or they're doing a weird play, so they'll like maybe they'll mash it. Or also the thing is 5B is super fast and has good range, so it will actually cover certain faster but less range mashing options, like a lot of 5As. Because it's like, how fast is it Adachi 5B? 8 frames?
7.
7, and it's like a lot bigger than
And this goes both ways. There are tools that you can mash on defense that you don't think would work very well. Like 5B, if you think about it, so 5B is 7 frames, 5A is 6. Like, the only difference is what happens on whiff. Say you whiff 5A, big deal.
I mean, 1 frame is in those pressure situations, but I get what you mean.
I'm talking about on defense. I'm changing the topic a little bit, but I'm talking about when you're on defense and you're mashing a button. 5B is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying that in a pressure situation, especially in like certain closer stagger situations, the 1 frame difference between 6 frame and 7 frame will actually make a difference to get
It
out of the
can,
opponent's pressure.
it can, but what I'm saying is that um, like you shouldn't be afraid as much to press something like 5B or mash 5B because of its horizontal range. Like the first hit does hit pretty far, and sometimes the extra hits because he moves forward as he's doing his hits. Like people will not really expect it, I guess, or expect to get hit by it, but there are a lot of situations where you might want to like because the middle ground of that is like 5C. Like you got 5A, 5C, and then like 5C for like your horizontal hitting buttons, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what I'm.
By the way, you said 5C twice, but
Oh, I did. Okay,
it's
but
good. I think everyone.
like 5A, 5B, 5C, I use to mash and pressure usually, and it just depends on the character because some characters want to like back up a little bit. You know, they want to play like a slight like mid, like against Marie, for example. I think or Liz. Liz is a good one. Or like you can break the persona with 5D if she holds like what is it? What is it? Fucking 2D? No, not 2D. 2C. If you hit that with 5B, you can cancel into 5C and she'll still be in recovery. So like
Oh, I've never tried that. I might do
well,
that.
yeah. And then like some characters when they hop cancel, like if you're pressing 5C, depending on what they're doing, of course, but like I think there's a couple Aegis strings or Yukari strings where she'll try setting up Garu behind you, and you can 5C her for that. There's a lot of examples. It's hard to keep track of them all. You know, sometimes I'm just doing this shit based on pure instinct, or I'm just going for it. Just being completely honest. But like, I'm just trying to get you to think like, do not be afraid to get even more wild than you would think. Like, I know like DP, like that's the button you can use to get out. But just try thinking about using a different button. It works sometimes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you actually to follow up on that 5C, but when we're talking about the defense, since you said you use 5A, 5B, and 5C, I use 5A, 5B as well. But outside of that, like specific Yukari shit, do you really use 5C like in any other context?
You guys
Kind of
think about this. When say Narukami is pressuring you. Here, let me just
Backdash JC maybe. Backdash line cancel JC.
think about this. So say he's doing something like this, like, and then he's like, say, because like, okay, a lot of characters are wanting to wait to bait the DP because it has a pretty far horizontal range. So that means either they have to sit here or like here, and what are your options at that range on the ground without trying to jump out, without trying to roll? And they're trying to bait something.
Yeah, your main mid-rated option is 5C. You would be, yeah.
Right. Like say they're just waiting for a second. Like you might get a 5C out, and all they have to do is block it. They don't even have to get hit by it. But if they blocked it, that's enough to give you some kind of leeway into doing something, getting out, whatever.
Yeah, because
you know,
one shot and pull some shit out. Yeah, I get
Could
what you
also be crazy and sweep them. That might hit.
Yeah, sweep
is a. I'm sorry. What?
I do like sweep. I do use sweep quite a bit.
Sweep, yeah, is a good mash tool. I was using it against Masuda last night, and you'd be surprised how many times he went for like a triangle jump thing, and I swept under it and punished him. Like we would corner swap, and I'd punish him for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
and that's like a huge.
there's a lot of tools. Like I'll even like if someone is say in our comments like doing shit in the air or something, whatever. You're out.
Tackle out.
Yeah, just tackle
Yeah.
out. It's moves you
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. I've seen some use of that in like the Yukari matchup. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and
I
I'll
was
even
experimenting
if they're on low
when I
health,
was.
if they're on low health, I'll even like go for tackle. I I, I
Yeah.
haven't I haven't optimized these combos, so I'll just be using it. But yeah,
Oh yeah, as long as it kills. No, I agree. I feel like sweep is really good though. In certain matchups, it gets you blown the fuck up a lot of the time because their options just cut low profile. Like it's one of
yeah,
those options that like certain characters that they don't not get low profile, so they will get fucked up. But I
mhm.
guess interesting enough, since you mentioned it, D-Star, when I first started playing him, he started fucking bursting after every sweep I got because of how much damage it got.
Yeah.
Like it
It's
does
a
work
good
against.
starter. It is a good starter. And like even on offense, like another thing I like to do is like say I get beam mandala, you get a safe jump off
Yeah.
this, right? So say they immediately pick. I'll walk forward, I'll walk backward, and then I'll sweep. Because sometimes they might press a
Mhm.
button. You might, like I said, you just gotta get creative. Because like, there's no, you're not opening up your opponent for free. There's no opening up you are making them do something or making them not do something. Because there's no outside of like hitting your cheeky gunshot DP or hitting a cheeky AOA. Like Adachi's lack of mix does make it hard to pressure, and that's why people struggle is because they have to get their opponent doing something and they're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Because
I
I
think
mean, if you think
Adachi's
about
strong. Like, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just gonna say because if you think about what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to jump to grab, you're supposed to block out the pressure strings and DP at the right times. So you mean you have to put your opponent into a situation where they feel threatened enough by an option to make a mistake or block when they're not supposed to, and then go for roll or something, or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess we could watch some footage to get an even better idea. Let me
I mean,
find
I
something.
went.
Who does Masuda play?
Akihiko. I was gonna pull up that footage because that was a pretty good example of like each character is pretty mid at both opening up and defending against their opponent. So I think it would be a good example.
Also, while you pull up the footage, I think we might as well ask if anyone else has any other questions related to the character, since we've been on this topic for a
Uh,
bit.
I
Anyone else
I
mean,
wants to
have
ask?
I have a matchup question, but I don't know if it's the time.
Yeah, matchup
you can
question.
go ahead and ask real quick.
Because I recently saw a tier list, and like of matchups, and Shabris was in like a position for Adachi, and I don't know how because I fought as a Shabris recently, and I got actually like destroyed, so I don't know how to fight her
Right. So one thing I will say, Pianzu, real
because
quick. I'm
Oh, you're
sorry. Go
talking to
ahead.
me?
Just 1 second to finish. What were we gonna say?
Me? I
uh
don't think I started saying anything yet.
No, lamp. Do you have something else to
Oh,
say?
because like basically what I really struggle with is the fact that with her 2C she can just shut off neutral, and a lot of her air buttons are really big, and I don't really know how to deal with that unless like I'm higher than them, and then I can jump see them.
Right. Here, real quick.
So what were you gonna ask me, Jordan?
So I just want to say real quick that I think it's good to do like we go over a topic extensively. Like I think that's fine if say during a boot camp we go over one or two topics, and then the next boot camp we can go over this question that got brought up, and we can delve into that deeper. You know what I'm saying?
All
So
right,
I
yeah.
don't. I think for now we'll keep going on the pressure because the pressure thing like that's really like broad and that a lot of
Okay,
players
okay,
struggle with that. But real quick, I will talk about Shabras.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it also just makes sense that while you're pulling up footage just to see if anyone else has anything to
Yeah,
ask.
yeah,
That's all I
right. But I just wanted to
want.
lay that out real quick, so you
Just
know,
in case people were like, they wanted to like vent some shit while we were just
right,
yapping about something.
right. But so the thing about Shabras is, I'll have to record some shit here.
Well, it's like we break the bull easy. That's like one of the
I have
main.
to make the bull do something. I don't play Shabras, so
Well, this is even
Yes,
struggling with
so
that's
CC.
probably the most annoying part.
so the thing about the bull is you can abuse the bull to your advantage. So say for this situation, no, I didn't. Like right there,
Okay.
you can kind of mix up your movement and what you're doing because Shabras uses the bull. So, for example, another example, like one thing I'll do is like hit it with 5C and then cancel into like 2D or like, um, you know, 5D, set up 5D, and you can kind of force her to start making decisions to either protect her bull or like approach you like trying to hit the bull. You know, you can kind of like make her do a lot of shit just by interacting with the bull.
Okay.
Another thing with like 2C for example is
Yeah.
if you can get good at this, it's a little difficult, but you can time your
Oh,
hit
understood.
to just break the bull out when it comes out. I don't know if
It's
5C
it's
works.
notable.
No, it's
It,
easier with JC.
yeah, you
I
can.
mean, DC
Damn.
is the auto kill bull button, and
That
I believe it
was
kills every kill option
wait,
except the SB.
what button?
Except SB.
Yeah,
Also, when you're talking about Shabras' normals themselves, Shabras has lab normals, which go really well with bull normals. However, Adachi actually does pretty well against Labras, like in the Labras matchup. His JC is slightly faster than JB, so in a lot of situations, you might actually be able to air beat it.
Okay.
Though it's a
yeah.
little tight since it's not that much of a frame difference, so you might want to air with JB.
She doesn't get ironically, Shabras doesn't get as much reward for landing a 2B. Funny enough. As like
That's
Still a lot
pretty
of
good.
regular.
reward. Ever.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I would
Yeah, but
say
regular you if she's in Red Axe you die.
I'd say if I was gonna give a brief statement about Shabris, just think about how to abuse the bull. Use the bull to your advantage. You get like that added hit stun or whatever. Like what is some other I don't know
It was
Shabris
like it's equivalent to like
hitting
hitting a block.
Koromaru. Koromaru
Yeah.
is a good example. Like when you hit Koromaru, your moves come out faster. So like let me yeah, it's a
Like
good
something notable with Koromaru actually is that you can use it to like jump cancel and block certain supers.
uh right,
But the
exactly.
bullet
Exactly.
is equivalent to hitting like a blocked opponent, I think. So like
I think it's
you can
closer.
jump.
It's yeah, yeah, but it is closer to Koromaru in the aspect that like the hit stun
They're
is
fast.
set up. Yeah, I don't remember the exact mechanic that causes it, but like
I didn't even know that
your
shit.
cancel window is faster. It's like hitting somebody. Like your cancel window is faster. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I noticed that with Koromaru, but since the some of the bull moves are armored, I never really thought about it.
Yeah, I noticed it with Koro, but I never noticed that with the bull. But no,
Yeah,
no,
because
now you do.
it has armor on it.
Yeah, it's the armor. Like that definitely feels like it comes out faster.
I think you're right. Even then, like
It's because there's some kind of like okay, it's like when you hit all out attack and you know there's like a pause.
also
Like
Jordan, while we're talking about this, you want me to go pull up the footage you're talking about?
no, I have it pulled up. I'm gonna switch the stream.
Okay.
Okay, well we'll transition to that now. Actually.
Well, just because you were talking about staying on topic, and now we're all the way on another
No,
topic.
exactly. That's
I
exactly why I said that earlier. Is I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's bad to like stay on a topic. Otherwise, we do
I,
this. But yeah, let's just watch some footage. Um,
uh, sorry, Lamp. Kind of my fault. I should have
No, no,
stayed
don't
on
worry about
topic.
it.
so like right there, right
Don't
there.
worry, don't worry.
That was a good example. So check out this whole pressure sequence right here. So that I went for a staggered 2B, then I ran up through, and now I waited for him to jump the grab, and well, he did hop, and so I punished with 2B. Um, and that was intentional. You know, I was looking for that jump because like, okay, I've established that I'm gonna throw. So what is he gonna do to deal with that? He can't roll or he'll get thrown. Um, he can't. He might be able to mash, but if I do like, I think meaty throw would catch 5A, right? So
Well, even if
It's
you
like
don't
playing
throw, you're
a
in
pseudo
a position.
grappler.
yeah, that's what Adachi is. He's a pseudo.
Also, even if you don't throw, you're in a position to threaten a 5B with or a 5C, which would be an even bigger punish.
Exactly. Right. So there he. I can
That
open
like
up
that
my.
little mid range where you can dash grab or you can 5B or you can 2B is actually really strong because there's just a bunch of options you can do there.
Mhm. I think I die here actually. Believe it or not.
Oh, Akiko's broken.
Yeah, you're dead. You're dead.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
With Heat Riser.
Akia is like
Yeah, with
that
Hate Riser and Awakening Health.
meter.
Jeez.
You know, Akiko,
He does
low mid tier.
shit out damage.
Um, ba, 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 ba.
Holy.
Yeah.
I think
I
I
think
just
you're dead. Well, you're
no,
gonna
I
get.
live. I
No.
live.
Ba, ba. I feel this matchup like it is our favorite, but there's something really annoying about that fucking 5A here.
What?
Akiko 5A.
The flurry of its too.
It's
The
two
flurry of
A
its too
and
is really annoying.
the 2A in the air.
Uh,
Like he doesn't have. But if they hit, you're fucking dead.
oh, could you go back a little bit? I skipped some. I saw something I found. When did you set up the? Oh, you set up the Fear Off of Fear setup. I thought I saw you do
Yeah.
it mid
So I
press.
did. So here, we're doing the thing in neutral. We're doing the neutral thing. So I just did run up 2B, and he went for a jump in at that point. So it connected.
Yeah, the fucking round 2D that you did to me in a fucking crew battle and it worked.
Yeah.
That match, I still have fucking nightmares about losing that match due to a combo.
Well, okay, okay. Like right here, I went for JAD grab, and
Okay.
he was mashing DP, so obviously I got hit. But like, you just gotta go for that shit. You really just gotta go for shit like that. Like you can't have too much fear about what option you want to present because you have to present the option and make them react to it.
I think another notable thing about Adachi pressure that we kind of neglected is like the different safe jump options you have. Because like Adachi has three different ways of safe jumping consistently.
Yeah, yeah.
They all have that.
You'll see me use all of them in here. So I'll just go over that when I see them. I'll
Well,
address them.
yeah, I think safe jumps are where Adachi gets a lot of his best mixed up options because the thing is with Adachi pressure is that it's a lot scarier, as you mentioned earlier. The quicker it ends because it gives the opponent less time to react. Also, good 5A.
Right, and you'll see what I was talking about earlier. What Masuda does, where he'll go for weave straight into an option, weave throw, weave 5C. Like he's getting you to do something. So like Akihiko kind of does pressure similarly because he also doesn't really have a ton of ways to mix you, at least
Yeah,
effectively.
I think Bars called Akihiko Adachi good Akihiko in 2.5 or something like that. I remember when the
Yeah.
game came out.
Oh, I'm actually surprised
The
you didn't
deck,
get hit by that. What?
ooh,
Or didn't get hit by that
that
DC.
That
2C,
was it was like
yeah.
a meaty SB gunshot, and he didn't get hit by that. Okay.
Yeah, because there's not really much you can do against Zio if he uses it.
Yeah,
But like,
I thought you were gonna die there. What the hell? Okay.
See, that Heat Razor would have killed in 1.1. Bring back rage resets.
yeah, he
Can
would have been
you
dead.
can you use Atom Smasher reaction against you?
Can
Uh,
can you what?
he's asking if you can
Atom
Atom Smash.
Smasher.
You cannot Atom Smasher that move. Period.
Okay.
I don't. I don't think you can even de-Atom Smasher actually.
I don't think. I maybe Czio. I think most of the time people just use Dzio though. Like you can't do anything against Dzio.
Yeah.
You have to hold it.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, you have to hold it because it also outlasts Atom Smasher, so you'll get hit
Yes,
anyway.
exactly. You can't DP him. You can't. That I think the only thing there is one option. Can anybody guess what it is?
The
IK.
SBC.
It's
Yeah.
IK.
It's
I was
IK.
gonna say I was gonna
It's
say
IK.
bro, but nah.
You can IK it. That's the only thing you can
You
do.
know what's funny? They can roll R Atom Smasher.
So
No, Lucy in here.
so basically, if he does DZO, just hold it. Don't do anything.
Unless he left. Damn. I didn't want him to. I
So like
didn't
right
realize you
there.
did not make this a private VC. You just made this a public one.
I didn't want to. I didn't. I'm gonna privatize it now, but
No, no. I mean, like, I don't think we've had
Nah,
any problems. It's
I
not
don't
big of
think
a
it's
deal. But,
actually does it. I don't know.
but
just make.
I didn't want to. I
I
didn't
thought
want to
you
add all the
made.
players.
Yeah, because there's like plenty of people with the rule.
Just like make it only accessible to people with the Adachi role. I think
Like
that's good.
I thought about it, but like I don't know.
Oh,
No,
that was a good.
I'll fix it next time.
That was a pretty good right there. You just drag them down with the JA and the JBs.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, buddy,
Also,
the double.
I like to do that because they'll try to whiff punish the 2B
He's
by
just like me for real, for real. Do it again.
This game is too fast paced to consistently
Yo, look at
endure
that
on
zero
reaction.
2D.
I think a lot of this was us just playing neutral.
Oh, let's
He's
take a look what save option you do here. Okay, use a JB.
so like right there you saw I went for the instant air dash JB and like he tried to hop and got counter hit for it. So there's a full combo right there.
Actually, against characters who don't have dedicated like anti-airs like Igus, instant air dash JC can be a really strong option when they're not in Argia.
Yeah.
Another example is Yukari, but Yukari is so good at jumping out of pressure that it's a lot more
Her
annoying.
her DP will also just hit you.
It's
Yep.
played a game of
I mean,
physics
Igus
and
will as well,
DPS.
but like
I think sometimes I end up jumping over it if she chooses the
you can
DP.
actually dodge Igus DP sometimes with JB and JC. Ooh. Cross up.
He just wasn't blocking high there. That's why that worked. Made himself safe with the shock fist.
Does not go for the. I'm so accustomed to fighting fucking Stack Hiko that I expect the 2A every time.
It works.
Oh, this is death.
Oh, damn it.
I didn't go straight for a super cancel because I didn't want him to burst my super. I lost quite a bit. I got my ass kicked for a little bit. Let's get to the middle of the set because that's when we started really adapting to each other. It starts getting more interesting. See some more Adachi sequences here.
You gotta see the matches where Jordan wins. That's our goat.
Oh, we'll watch some matches where I actually do something. I don't know why that didn't hit.
I get it. It happens to. Oh, you did the JA safe jump there. You want to talk about the JA safe jump?
So
I think you did a little. Oh no, that's not really the JA safe jump.
well, I did a late one because sometimes what you can do is you can do like a forward jump and do a late air dash and hit them with JA.
Like a knockoff.
And they will not be expecting it. It's just it's a knockoff like Narukami situation.
Yeah. I mostly only do on J2C though for some reason.
Like right there, okay. Like I set up the fear and I just waited. I just wanted him to see if he was gonna roll, if he was gonna mash or do something. And so then I just ran up 5B and it actually hit. And I actually got the confirm. So I mean, sometimes this is how it be.
It looks silly, but like that was actually pretty smart.
And I will say one also huge actual like barrier when it comes to Adachi is like just being able to get those easy pickup confirms. Like that's like a big point of difficulty is being able to get because like all your like really good confirms are going to be awkward and kind of hard to react to, and you just kind of got to get used to them.
I think one of the big ones of those is 5A. Air counter hit 5A is one that is very awkward.
Yeah, you gotta be like hyper aware to hit those kinds of confirms.
I still fuck that one up a lot.
It's easier when you're trying to anti-air, when you're using 5A as an anti-air.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, if you're dedicated using it as a dedicated anti-air, then it's a lot easier.
I think in this round I just didn't want to block. This is how it be sometimes. Sorry to say.
With the wake up QB, I saw that.
Sometimes I just don't want to block, so I'll just start mashing, and then he starts thinking that I'm gonna keep mashing, so then I don't mash.
It's all conditioning.
It's all conditioning. It's all mind games. Like 70% of it.
I definitely just did not want to block that round. I just was like thinking 3 steps ahead, dude. To be honest, when I get into that mood of not blocking, I just do it because I don't want to block. There's no thought behind it.
And with the DP Mandala, you're like right there. Like that's what I mean. Like sometimes just do a shimmy and hit 5C. I promise. I promise. It works.
You're doing the Street Fighter.
Yeah, like okay. Like if you really want me to go into detail about this, like okay, like right here, he saw me like kind of baiting. He thought now I will jump out, and that is when you get hit by the 5C. See, like
I think Amandala.
Two-way hop. I wasn't saying anything important, to be honest.
I was gonna say Amandala is a very interesting situation as well, because of how a lot of people think that Amandala, well, they can mash on it or escape or something like a lot of that point because it's like it's not as like true of a meaty as B Mandala, but you can get a lot of people off guard on certain A Mandala meaties.
Yes, because yeah, you don't get a true like safe jump meaty, but if they don't have an option that, like, okay, an example of where that doesn't work and you're just kind of fucked is Mitsuru, because she can just like SB Ku, can 5A, like she covers that range so well that like you have to be really careful. Like her DP reaches that far.
I'm pretty sure the only thing you can do is just try to true meter her, and that's about it.
Yeah, pretty much. You cannot pressure Mitsuru the same way as you do some of these other characters. You really can't. But I'm using this as an example because this will apply to more of the like you guys aren't fighting like fucking like Magaki and Waka. Like your average like top tier players are probably gonna block, and you're probably gonna get an option to practice some of these pressure strings on them. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Yeah,
what? What was the string, bro? How did you get a fucking safe jump? What the hell?
Oh, I mashed
Oh, that
I
was
got two-way
fatal.
fatal.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So one thing I like to do, and so another thing you can, and this comes down to meter management, which is just hard. But when you can get the heat riser, just get the heat riser. Like the earlier you get it, the better. Like you'll take less damage. Dala, like heat riser, the extra damage. Like heat riser's good. It's really good. And so in a situation like this, I hit a two-way fatal. And I thought, well, either I can just go for a safe jump or I can do a land cancel like fear setup. At least I get not only heat riser, but I get fear. So like that's what I'm gonna do.
Heat riser.
Would you say Heat Riser is still good to do even against a shadow character? Like, when you're that late into your HP?
Yes.
Actually, especially
even
with shadow
better.
characters.
Even better because they'll go for their typical like really really good players might factor in heat riser, but you'd be surprised how often like a shadow character will go for their like, and I'm not talking about Shadow Mitsuru or Shadow Chie. Okay, you're dead. You're just dead. Don't worry about it.
Like Shadow Ken, for example.
But like Shadow Ken's a good example where like he'll activate at his typical like health percentage that he'll usually activate on, and he'll do his full combo, but you'll live with 1 HP. And that's all you really need sometimes.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
Yeah, it's important.
with characters like Shadow Mitsuru and Shadow Chie, would it still be worth it, even though like you're dead in the next?
I mean,
Maybe. It depends. It just depends. That depends on the player at that point.
It's also
But-
not
but-
only just
you know, also Heat Riser is a good
defense.
combo starter.
You get
so
more
it's-
damage too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you get the there's just no reason not to have it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, there are examples where you might want to just save like your 25 meter shit for other things, or maybe you want to keep them alive so you don't use heat riser or whatever.
Sometimes
There's a lot.
Yeah, you want to avoid them.
might not even just be for the buff. You also get certain setups with it.
Yeah, or I'll use it for 5D. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like typically, especially in the corner, I'd rather go for SP tackle damage rather than Heat Riser damage.
I don't know about that because Heat Riser damage is generally higher, and you get the buff off of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing you got to think about Heat Riser is that while we still have to do meter management, compared to 1.1 where we're trying to save up and shit for like rage resets, we have a little bit more freedom on how to use the meter just because we don't have that just over centralizing strong option. In
Right.
1.1, you would always have to play around Awakening because of how strong rage resets were. But in this game, since we don't have that explosive option, we can play to our Heat Riser strengths and all that stuff outside of Awakening better.
Also burst. The SB walk. You get bursted and now you're in the corner.
Yeah, like Heat Riser is really useful for anti or like burst save combos. I don't know, I forgot the word for that. But burst save, it's really good for burst save combos. So like, yeah. Anyway,
Can I ask something real quick about your Eat Riser?
what's up?
What's the best Eat Riser to set up a 5D?
SB.
What?
He's asking how to do
apart from SB. Like apart from SB, like between A and B.
Like for setting up 5D, you mean?
Yeah, for setting up 5D.
It's definitely B. It's definitely B.
Okay,
B
B.
or
So what I like to do is say I get like counter hit DP. And if I do a full Heat Riser combo off of that for the safe jump, they will enter Awakening. So what I'll do is I'll cut the combo short and set up 5D, especially if I'm in Awakening and have Mandala, because Heat Riser applies fear, and the 5D they have to hold. So if you open them up in that 5D, you're getting a full land cancel combo with all the poison stacks. Like, that's pretty damn good. It's really good. And like, especially in like, or like, say if I'm fighting Aegis and she's burning Orgia and she's in Orgia, I will cut my combo short just to throw her into the corner and get a 5D setup. Just to force her into the corner so she can't do any shenanigans. And so she's burning more Orgia meter. Sometimes you can overheat them if you do it right. But just stuff like that. You might see me do it. I might have not done it against Aki as much, but you might see me do it.
Also, if y'all have a question, just ask it. Like, the whole point of this is for y'all to ask questions.
Right,
Y'all don't
right.
need to ask.
Yeah.
If it's just me and Jordan yapping to each other, we're probably not going to get as much out of it.
I'm hoping people are learning something, at least.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
I thought this was a really good, like, the whole pressure thing, I think was a really good lead off because most people, like, it is the most common question, I think. And it is the most difficult thing to grasp. Right there was
saucy.
that was a good example of mashing 5B and it working out. Like, here, I just roll.
Getting the meterless circle.
there were so many ways that could have gone wrong, but it just went perfectly.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
I get it. I see. But I think pressure is a really good topic because it is the thing I feel most people do wrong. When I'm
Yeah.
watching Adachi matches, the main thing I see them do wrong is they really fuck up on making their pressure threatening.
Yeah. Like, because Adachi is just one of those characters where inherently you don't have to give a shit about him. Like, blocking him, at least. Because he's a mid monster. It's only if the Adachi starts going for grabs, you have to be scared, right? So, like, and then once he starts going for grabs, he starts threatening the grab. And now, okay, now I have to do something to get out of the grab. That's when you start hitting the anti-airs. Typically, they're going to jump or they're going to do something, you know?
A pretty funny example of that is one time I was fighting Adachi, and in one round I Megi doled him 5 times in a row. And then to the next round, he did a fuzzy jump, and I countered it to beat him. It was really funny. It's exactly that. It's all
Yeah.
about conditioning, and it works against like the best players. It's not like it's just gonna only work against like um like a beginner or an intermediate player. Every
It's
good player can be affected by conditioning.
he's a
Adarak, Matsuda, any of these players will get conditioned.
it'll be harder to condition some better players, but because I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, respect is it's given. It's just a concept. Nobody has to respect you. No one has any reason to respect your pressure until you give them one. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep, as long as you let me keep DPing you, I'm gonna keep DPing you. Why would I stop?
Yeah. Like if you could tell them, okay, if you don't want to respect me, then I'll punish you really hard. Which is part of the reason why having a good punish game with Adachi is very important because you want to teach your opponent that they have to respect you or they will die in 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
But like the only way someone would be able to like make Adachi's pressure invalid completely is if they had above human reaction times and just could react to everything Adachi
That's how it
did, which
feels
is
fighting certain Japanese players. Like when I fight Takiyabu, it feels like I just can't grab that guy. He just DPs it every time.
I feel like I I hear people complaining about that shit, and it's like, yeah, it's just some people just have a read on how you're gonna do, like just how you're gonna do it and
Every
stuff.
single time,
Because obviously it's
bro.
not possible. Megidolars are not reactable. Like not C Megidola is not
It
reactable, but like
both D Megidola isn't reactable either if you cancel into it. It's like you just have more time to
yeah,
actually do the option that you were planning.
Yeah.
That's it though. You can't just auto
yeah,
action DP it.
Right.
yeah. That's why I don't really like stances because they do make shit more reactable. I feel this is I'm gonna
Well,
say a personal. I'll say that stances to me are mostly used for like just general in my opinion they should just be used for like niche setups like when you can't do it off a sweep or something like that.
You're still committing
That's
to the
my opinion.
grab though, so it's not like you won't get opened up if the decide to do anything.
well, no, with stance, I mean, you can like hop cancel, you can 5C, yeah, you can 2C. Like, okay, say for example, you stance and your opponent reacts by jumping, you
Yeah,
can
you can
just cancel
2C.
2C out of that and
Yeah,
can't catch them in the air. I mean, there are different uses for stance. It's more of like you're visually telling your opponent, "Hey, do something real quick," and you're kind of
yeah.
like,
It's obviously not horrible. It's a good option, but I just have a personal like aversion to it generally because I feel it just makes you more predictable because you're inherently limiting your options every
right.
time you
But it is good. What
also
I think you'll see me do it sometimes, but like instead of going for like 5A grab, because they're waiting, they're like you're doing 5A, and then they're expecting you to like either set up the grab or they're waiting. Like you can kind of just use stance sparingly to kind of throw them off, essentially.
yeah. I I barely see you use stance to be honest, and you only do it in like very like occasional situations to catch people off guard.
Yeah, but I will say in pressure with gunshot, that's where you're gonna use it the most. It's like
Yeah, because
A gunshot stance 5C is like pretty standard for like
yeah,
mid range pressure.
we actually haven't talked much about gunshot, which is a pretty interesting stagger tool. Though also Pika asked something in the boot camp preparation channel. He
Mm,
said, "Any tips for general neutral game and how to play with Adachi's kit?"
uh,
I feel that's kind of broad, but maybe I don't know.
yeah, I
Neutral
know.
game is such a variable topic because it just depends on the character.
Yeah, there's no.
Because like the way we had this whole discussion with Zeno once, where we were talking about is Adachi a rush down or is he a mid range or whatever the fuck, and it just depends on the character. If you want to specify the question a little bit more, Pika, that'd be nice.
By the way, Jordan, I'll send you the recording through Google link later.
Okay, okay.
But also, back onto the topic of pressure while I wait for Pika to write out the question. I kind of wanted to talk about gunshots since I think it's such an interesting like tool that is not used as well as it should be sometimes because gunshot is an inherent mix-up on like a minor level. Like, how is it a macro level? Is that the right word? Because the whole like frame traps guessing game of am I gonna gunshot once and reset pressure, or am I gonna gunshot twice and wait to bait a matching tool?
Heli would
It's
But
like a
handle
he's
micro
gunshots really well.
everything that Adachi is about, in my opinion.
So he's talking about neutral. Here, look, give me a second. I'm sending a text. Hold on.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So if I feel lost in neutral, I don't think I'm going to specify to a good level, unfortunately. Well, I mean, while I was making my dumbass PowerPoint for this thing, which I never ended up using, I did say I wrote a slide about not leapfrogging too much. But even then, it's like specific. Sometimes you do want to jump in the air like that. It's like you gotta mix up your options. Just it's fundamentally the same thing Jordan was saying about pressure applies somewhat to neutral, in that you have to constantly be get the opponent on their toes. You want to mix up all your good options. Also, why can't you type? Oh, okay. I think Pika, get yourself the Adachi roll. I think then you'll be able to type.
Okay. So in terms of neutral, again, it is just based on what your opponent's doing. A lot of the time, like a go-to option is obviously like right here. You'll see this kind of thing all the time. Like I'm just pressing 5C because I'm waiting for him to run into it because that's what Aki does. Is he'll like go in, he'll do like a quick instant air dash, jump in, or he'll like do kill rush to catch something. So I'm just hitting 5C here. 5C, 5C, 2V because I thought he would try and whiff punish that. Um, you're just kind of, I will say some of Adachi's neutral tools are committal. You're kind of like, once again, you're kind of like just trying to make a good decision.
Ooh, that was a sad drop. Yeah, I think something interesting, especially at longer distances, 5C isn't as committal as you would think. You can actually just kind of throw that out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you
There
can
will
whiff
be
it.
there will be matches where I can just 5C and then 5C again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like here,
Also,
like
Jordan,
what?
somebody the way you lock the channel makes it so Pika can't type in the channel, I don't think.
Probably. I think it's fine if you type in the boot. Didn't even know people were typing in the VC. To be
Oh,
honest,
okay. Everyone who can't type there, just type in the Bootcamp channel. That way we
yeah,
can
I gotta figure
keep
out
track.
permissions for this shit later. But I didn't want
I mean, if
to.
it's, next time we'll all have it.
Yeah, we'll have it figured out by next time for sure. But anyway, like okay, so like here, like what you're doing in neutral, and I will say this is a general fundamental thing. I saw a tweet the other day or recently about how this even applies in like boxing, like real world boxing, MMA fighting, where you're kind of you're overloading your opponent is how he described it. Like you're doing a bunch of like really meaningless movements to get your opponent to kind of second guess what you're about to do. Like right here, just jumping, JAing, if he runs into it, he runs into it. But like you're kind of you want to condition your opponent not only on offense but also in neutral. Like right there, I did the 5C, I waited, and then I just did a random instant air dash, and lo and behold, he did B kill rush. And now he's punishable for a fatal, and so he spins his burst.
I think you'll see, especially in zoner matchups, Adachis will actually really like to use JA just to like throw out as a small little like wall you're throwing up there with JA
Yeah,
when you jump in. Because
is
it's
this
so like so
your
quick, you
fastest
can't
air
really punish
button?
it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the best there, but well, no, I'm like,
Well, unless if Yukari fucking arrows you and then does a full combo.
yeah, that'll happen.
it helps
But
when she's spamming JA though.
I tend to
But yeah,
still
you're
lose
sort of
that
setting up a
interaction.
wall.
But I like using
I
J in
will
the
say,
Ikari matchup to preemptively hit persona moves.
Um,
yeah, it's also, oh yeah, very useful for breaking up for breaking orbs and stuff like that as well. You're right.
Usually that interaction, it's just me spamming JA before she is. But yeah, it's like
Mm.
50-50.
I will say sometimes with the meaningless movement type shit, you do gotta be careful to not just. Sometimes meaningless movement kind of goes a little too far, and you're just sort of just posturing on the opponent while they just stand there and while you do
Yeah.
nothing. Pretty.
You
You
have
have to.
to make it meaningful. Like it's meaningless technically. It's hard to explain. This is why neutral's hard to explain. But
Yeah. I see this is not even just Adachi players. I see this with other players where sometimes they'll try to do that type of meaningless neutral type shit, but it ends up just me waiting them for them to do something because they get impatient.
yeah,
You don't want to just be moving around like you're like trying to bait something. Don't make it too obvious that you're baiting something
right.
because people will know. Because when you're just air dashing, like the most common one is when people just do jump up and then they'll instant air dash back again, and they'll do it like 3 times in a row. And I'm just looking at them like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
You
I
gotta
know
be
you're
kind
trying to.
of. You gotta be looser with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Jordan makes it really natural because he'll do a JA and then just right after the JA, he'll either land or he might air dash in and threaten something.
Right? Because I'm looking. I'm technically looking for stuff, but at the same time, I'm throwing up buttons that would threaten the stuff they want to do. You're playing. It's like the people say neutral's like a conversation. You're kind of like you're doing a back and forth. You're kind of you're presenting something, they're presenting something, and it's like you gotta be. It's like you're putting the pieces together. It is a little vague. It's a little hard to just wrap your head around like that. But like,
Yeah. Also, then again, from what I said about like that type of movement, that's just like they'll do the same thing 3 times. Even erratic movement like that can actually be very useful sometimes because
mhm.
it is confusing. The opponent will be somewhat like I don't know, like confusing your opponent is not actually a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
They won't know.
One thing I love to do, I've started doing recently, stand still. Don't press anything. Like I'm serious. Take your hands off the
Yeah, it's
controller.
I
See how they
don't do
react.
I don't do that, but I think that's very smart, especially in a game as fast paced as Persona. It is very weird to see someone just stand still.
Yeah, no, because you really don't know what they're gonna do now because they're not doing anything. Literally, they're not holding back to block. They're not down backing to block. They're just. I'll do it against Yukari sometimes, and just see like if she hits me with an arrow, like she might get a bounce, but she might not expect to get the bounce. So she'll go for something else, and it gives you a little bit of time to do something. Okay, that was
That's fucking that is fucking hilarious.
yeah, that was a little nuts. But like,
I think
What the
neutral and
fuck?
pressure weapons are inherently tied together because Adachi, neutral, and pressure are both based around this conditioning idea.
yeah, exactly. Because it's not like
So
Adachi get. It's not like Adachi gets in and it's over, right? It's not like Igus. You're not fighting Igus. Like
yeah,
Adachi, like Igus gets in.
he
You don't
can
want Igus to get
snowball.
in. Yeah,
He can snowball, but it's not like fucking Igus where you can just like
like you getting hit is inevitable when you're fighting Igus. Like if she gets in, you're preventing her from getting in. That's the idea.
yeah,
But
you have to use like a lot of gimmick options if you want to somehow get the fuck out of Igus pressure.
right,
Like chicken blocking is kind of useful if you can do it. Fuzzy blocking. What else is it? You can try to IB roll, but this is all like not consistent stuff. On the other hand, Adachi, I mean, as you said, it's a guessing game and it's a conditioning game.
And you're right there. You just kind of do a little shimmy, try and get him to press a button, punish him for it. There, like right there, I left him outside of Awakening.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
thinking. For a second I was thinking, what the fuck was that combo? But then I looked at the health bar.
Sometimes I
Oh,
will. Sometimes I'll go for. Sometimes I'll just say fuck it and go for the damage and set up like SB Heat Riser 5D.
yeah.
But it just
I think
depends.
looking at that SB Megidola right there, I feel SB Megidola is a very solid option at the end of the game for unexpected Megidolas since it's so fast and also has such good range.
That and the recovery.
Yeah. It is extremely useful to just get people off guard in ranges where like so y'all see where Jordan sort of just plays around this mid range where he'd have to run up if he wants to see Megidola. Well, SB Megidola he can do that without needing to run up, which just makes it a lot scarier.
Yeah, you don't have to close the gap as much, so you'll get scooped. You'll get scooped up, and people don't expect to get scooped up at that range at all.
Like, honestly, despite the fact that Adachi is such a common character, a lot of people do not know that much about this character.
Yeah,
Like they know the basics of what he does, but his actual pressure is not something that many people really think that much about.
I will also say, if you really want to make use of Adachi's DP in defense, start getting good at IVing.
Yeah, well, also, I being also is very useful for what's it called? Matching out with 5A,
Yeah, or just using
which
5B sometimes.
I think I being and matching out with 5A is
Okay,
the only way
I
our
thought that
combo.
interaction was insane. I did not know that could happen.
Oh yeah, Akihiko DP is terrible.
Yeah, I
It is
fucked up
really
there.
good.
The thing is, once people get better at dealing with Adachi DP, we're gonna be a lot more fucks because there's so many ways to just um
Narukami.
There's
OS.
so many new new OSs that come out to deal with Adachi DPs.
Like they don't even need to do new ones. People just need to use the old ones more because like a lot of people just don't use the OS as much as they should, and we're getting away
Yeah,
with shit. Also, could you make the chat open so that Bona can join again? We got like someone
yeah,
else joining in real quick.
Fucking Narukami can just OS us so hard, bro.
I think the only way out of Narukami pressure is actually to IB5A and stagger.
and throw.
I literally, yeah, I remember wondering how the fuck you get out. One of the options was IB throw. It's like,
All
damn,
right, you can close it again, Jordan.
damn that. That's one of the very few
It is
options you
really
can
just
sit.
IB throw or IB5A due to how it works.
IB
If you're
pressure.
patient enough, you can kind of pick your moment because sometimes they'll do like 5C, 2C. If you like IB 5C, you can DP there, or they do 5B, 5C. I think if you IB 5B, you can DP there. Sometimes I just be IBing and mashing DP and hoping it works out. I'm not gonna lie to you guys at all.
Yeah.
It's low key annoying, just getting 5-8.
Also, don't be. I wanna make this clear. Let me be clear.
I didn't.
Why
Let
did
me-
you do that?
I promise. Waste your fucking persona cards. Just waste them. Stop protecting. By overprotecting your persona, that just means you end up in the worst situation where near the time where you need the most persona cards is where you have none. Like you get into Awakening, you got one persona card left, and now if you get Mandala, you're fucked. You're just gonna lose it. So like sometimes it's good to just like say you're on one persona card and you're at like 60% HP. just trying to break it. Just start being as risky as possible with your persona, so that
You just got.
you get it back just in time, to where it's useful.
That reminds me of one time I was fighting Sunlunk, and I got Persona broken 2 times in one round, and I still won the round. It was really funny.
And there's so many ways. Oh my god, this neutral. There's so many
That
ways to
move,
like
see, that
delay.
erratic movement is kind of what I was talking about, but he made it work just by how he's swung.
Because he'll just do it randomly. Like he won't just do it like all the time. Like he'll just do it the one time, and you're like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? And then you run in and try and hit him, and you get punished for it.
Fuck, I'm coughing my ass off now. I should probably get some cough drops.
Like right there, using 5D in a block string. Like, would you use 5D in a block string?
Yeah.
You should.
5D in a block string?
Especially far, bro. Sometimes they'll just stand there.
Because sometimes they'll just be expecting to keep hold. They'll like expect some gunshots, so they'll keep blocking, and then they'll see that you didn't gunshot, so they'll start jumping, and then that's your 5D's already starting up. Now you're in. Now they're in the corner. And being in the corner is the most important thing to do.
Well, yeah, all your best tick grab setups are in the so much stronger in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about like Adachi Oki a little bit since it's part of the whole pressure discussion?
Yes, we can do that.
Because like it's on topic, but we can mix it up a little bit.
I agree. I think it fits in. We're going over a lot of
Because
just basic stuff today.
there's one.
I'm gonna
That's one
switch.
safe trip.
I'm gonna switch into the game again.
I think.
Do you want to do online training mode or something like that? Or
We could, yeah.
I think after that,
I'll hop
we
in
should
real
discuss
quick.
his defense because this game has
Just make a room. I'll hop in real quick.
disgusting. This game has some disgusting pressure sequences, and our DP isn't that good.
Yeah, I would like to know when to IB and a DP, like so I don't get like or like not how you say it. So I just want to defend better. I want to know when I can get out, so I don't get cut.
Right.
That's matchup specific, to be honest.
Yeah, that is extremely matchup specific because of the way our defense is.
I
Oh,
mostly know about Ken on that type of stuff. So if you want advice on Ken, I can give you about that. Do you want me to pick a specific character, Jordan, or should I just Adachi mirror?
I think we can demonstrate some stuff with the Adachi mirror, so we'll start with that.
Alrighty. Look at this dumbass motherfucker, Adachi. He's got such a fucking stupid face.
All right, so I'm gonna start. I want to start off by showing something off. So I want you to mash DP on wake up. Understand?
Alright. Yeah. I'm sorry, I was fucking holding my block.
Could you switch windows?
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Huh?
Could you switch windows?
Oh shit. Am I not on the game right now? Oh, I'm not. Whoops. Says I'm gonna have to restart the stream. It's being weird.
Oh, okay. Online training mode really fucking sucks in this game, to be honest.
Because can you guys see the game?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing.
Alright. I fucking messed up DPing. I have ass.
Oh, I fucked it up.
There you go.
So that's hit stop OS, and a lot of characters can do that on your DP actually. But the thing is, Adachi can do it on himself. So if you're fighting an Adachi mirror and your opponent likes to mash DP on wake up, just use the hit stop OS. It's you do instant air dash, JB, and then you basically mash roll the input for roll. And
While
so
holding
if
back.
yeah, so if you you get if you get the hit, you go into a combo. If they block, you can do you can get 5C or whatever. But the thing you'll notice is you get that like you'll see the persona for a second there. If you're doing it right. You see how it appears for a second? Yeah, like that.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah, does anybody what questions you guys have about what were we what did we
Were
originally
we
get in
talking about
training?
Oki?
On what?
Were we talking about Oki, like different
Yes.
save channels?
Okay, okay. So that's what it was leading into. So like say for example, you get fucking regular you can do instant air dash JB, you can do instant air dash JC, JA, nothing grab, nothing regular grab. You can present you can just go into your pressure string or whatever. Go ahead and block.
Oh yeah.
Go into a pressure string, start pressuring.
We also run up 2B.
Run it. You can do meaty 2B. Here, like, here, do a.
Oh, accidental.
Here, I'll do a safe jump real quick, and then just do hop on wake up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, short hop. So
Yeah.
I did it. Hold on, I got distracted by the timer. But another thing you can do is like instant international JA like grab. That's too you got hit. um, but like D grab is a good one.
You can whip
Like,
JC as well.
yeah, I don't like that one personally. I don't use it.
I like it.
Some people like using it. It's not a bad. It's not bad inherently, but like, yeah, it's a neat little setup. But
Kind of hard to react to.
personally, I just like making them block first and then conditioning them from there. So,
That's fair.
but yeah, let's see. Trying to think. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You're just doing a safe jump into, like, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Any
do it.
other further options are like land cancel specific bullshit. Like we can do a fear setup.
Off of any fatal.
And now I died.
And then it goes
I'm a
back
bro.
around. I fucked that one up. But you get the idea.
You can do weird ass cross ups in the corner.
That's another one I forgot to talk about. So here, let me. I'm sorry, you were doing something actually.
No, I was just showing off a weird ass cross up in the corner. It's not important.
Okay, well, one thing I did want to cover: if you condition them to block, and because the size of JC, like say we here real quick, get hit.
Oh.
Because of the size of JC, like, you can just do this, but like, so with that as a threat, now you can do something like that, where you're like doing it, like just delaying your jump in, which is a pretty standard like fighting game thing, of course, but like it works pretty well for Adachi because of like the cross up potential, especially. Fuck. And now you get a full combo off that. So like,
I mean, like, look how much damage that does. 4.9, 5.2, and we're going up to nearly
That's with,
7K because I got hit by a cross up.
That's just 150.
Exactly.
But
that was a
not so
exaggerated situation, but that was the full stick of butter, but like
Yeah, but, like still, you can get really big damage combos. Like you can do like a SB Mandala setup in the corner. Like I don't fucking know.
Most common fucked up damage is just with Mandala. already activated.
My controller disconnected mid combo. That's
Oh my
funny.
god. But
Well, you know what? We don't have to
like
show off how
okay,
much we suck.
B Mandala. I'll
Oh, you
like
want me to?
2A or okay. Let's cover. Hmm.
I feel
I
like
don't
we're
know.
a
I
little
don't
bit
feel
off
like. Yeah, I don't feel like
right
there's
now.
much to go into. Like you do the safe jump and then you start your pressure, and then you go into your conditioning. Like it's again, you're just building off conditioning. Like, did you condition them to block the safe jump? Okay, now just do delay safe jump. Like whatever works for the situation, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
Or
we're
like,
starting to repeat ourselves a little bit. So maybe we should start asking for
There's
questions.
no
yeah.
like crazy things you can talk
Like I guess
too
we can
much about
do.
the
I
character
guess we can do
itself.
something like this.
It's more so just helping out the
Oh
player
right, I can't Mandala because I don't have
to
awakening.
develop.
That's right.
Because yeah, people would just be stuck at a wall for ages and not know what to do.
So yeah,
Eventually,
Jordan, I think we
you'll
should start.
stagnate in like growth. Feel like you're not improving for a while. You're just bashing your head against the wall, like confused. You know, stuff
Yeah,
that can help get you through those little hurdles. That'll like be useful. Cause yeah, I remember when you actually got first into the game though. You were like after a year or so, you were like placing pretty high in fucking majors.
Uh huh.
Like any sort of tips for like improvement as a player in general would be nice.
Treat your online matches like training mode. Okay, training mode is pretty limited, especially when you're dealing with a character whose main objective when it comes to like what do I do? Like that's an entire can of worms. Like you like you're having to figure out so many different situations that the best thing you can do is get in an online match with like somebody maybe slightly stronger than you, maybe somebody a matchup you're not familiar with, and just try and use it as the lab. Like just go for the IBs. Just see if the DP works here or if you can mash 5A here and do it a bunch of times. Don't just think like you tried it once and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that doesn't work. No, do it for like 5 games in a row. Just keep going for it. Like really, what do you have to lose? You know what I'm saying?
It's just more casual matches. You aren't losing anything.
Yeah,
Eventually, yeah,
exactly.
you see it works and you try it in tourney. And wow,
Just see
it
how
did work.
it how fucking I don't know.
well, yeah, you can like lab combos at like to infinity, but you need actual matchup experience to like make Adachi work.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Also, like he's such a like I was maybe not funnies, but he's a character that's based like very much off of like he does have X factors and bullshit factors, but you need like a certain amount of like you know game knowledge. You
Yeah.
can't really rely on like some bullshit mix up. I'm not hating on Igus players, even though I do hate the flankers, but there's a level of there's a level of mix ups you get just from inherently
You
playing
have to
Igus that
carry
you do not.
yourself playing this character.
Yeah, it's not
Adachi
like
doesn't have Adachi doesn't have to work as hard as maybe characters like Aki or Kanji, but he does have to work pretty hard. I'm just gonna be honest.
Like,
yes, Adachi is like a character who's perfectly tournament viable. You can win a tournament with him, but he just has to work harder than like the top tiers that you're competing with.
Yeah.
the top tiers have a part-time job. You have a full-time, and Kanji and Naki have like 2 jobs.
I mean, like we have it better than like I don't fucking know, normal Chie even, who's like normal Chie's a pretty good character, but we have it better than like at least her, I think. But
Yeah.
like compared to like I don't fucking know, even Narukami, who used to have it a lot easier. Like he still is pretty well off compared to
I
us.
think Naruto's
I mean,
always
not saying that we're
better.
bad. We're not a bad character at all. You don't need to get into the mindset that you're playing a low tier, but you don't also need to get into the mindset like you do need to work a little bit
Yeah,
to.
you're gonna. I think that is where the like it gets tricky for some of these like growing players, where it's um, like you can get away with quite a bit of things at the lower levels with this character, but it does stop working. It really does. And you gotta start actually figuring out answers and matchups and shit. But I will
Yeah.
say, just doing like stuff like this, like just going for your neutral buttons, it works. It works out. Like just be a little confident in what you're doing.
Also, specifically when it comes to tournament results and playing in tournament, so like, because that's where you're gonna see like your quote unquote improvement, is that it helps, especially since you're gonna be more nervous in tournaments, it does help to simplify your game plan. You do not need to bring all of your, like, how do you say? You don't need to bring everything to the table. You can do what you do well at a tournament. Because if you try a bunch of shit that you just haven't tried in casuals enough, you're gonna get like fucked up for trying it in tournament.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
honestly,
tournament.
sometimes, but like, you know.
I'd say in a tournament, that's when you like lock in and go for the consistent stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's like what you see Jordan in tournament, especially. Sometimes I try to do the optimal stuff in tournament, and then I fuck up and lose.
Well, I
You
mean
see
that's.
Jordan just on.
I think it's there's a level of like doing um what's consistent and what's quote unquote optimal. Like the perfect player will do both, but it's really hard to do both. Just know that. Like I incorporate what I can into high pressure situations, but those high pressure situations, like you're going for the hardest, easiest thing you can do. If that makes sense. Your internet freaking out.
No, it's my game. I forgot to fucking close Chrome.
Holy, it's lagging.
I forgot to close Chrome. That's
12
my
rollback
B.
frames is crazy.
All right, let's return to room real quick because I feel like
We
it'll get
gotta
better if you return.
we gotta wait here a second. Honestly, I'd be down to start wrapping up. I was gonna see if anybody else had any questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel we need to show off anything
Um.
else. Just final questions and shit, especially since it's
Okay.
starting to get late.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about resets.
Resets. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
like what? Any
Oh, okay.
specific resets or just resets in general?
Uh, because I see a lot of people going for like after 2C, like going for 2B and then reset when they have fear on, so it's a fatal counter and then you do your normal combo.
Uh huh.
But like other than that, there's any like meaningful reset?
So one comment. What the hell is going?
I think if it continues to fuck up, then just tell Haya to hop in. But I think
All
it's
right.
okay right now.
Okay,
Okay. So here I'm
into
gonna.
the game. Jordan, there's one. What would you even count as a reset? There's like this one setup that scales the fuck out
Okay,
of
yeah,
the
tell Haya to hop
combo
on call.
in the corner.
I'm just gonna go to training mode. I
Okay.
can do. I can do it in regular and solo training mode for this.
Yeah,
What
that's
were you
my
saying,
B.
Haya?
I left Chrome open. My computer is really fucked right now, so if I leave something open while I'm playing the game, it'll just make it not work for like a while.
Right.
So
Oh, and that one fear reset is I can't lie, it's kind of gimmicky. A lot of people, once they realize it, they'll just stop taking up. Uh, there is
But what I will say is a thing. I'm gonna go over this because it's kind of important. It's what I like to do. Um, so right there, when 2C ends, they may be able to immediately tech, or they may no tech, and if you no tech, you get a full combo off of it. So I don't know. I don't remember how to set this up. I'm gonna try.
No blind recovery, I think.
So if you wait, see, still teching.
wait, is it ground or air
There's
recovery?
no air recovery then, maybe?
Thought it was ground. Oh wait,
Oh,
wake up.
wake up now.
Uh,
Okay.
uh. So because they no tech, and 2A puts them airborne for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure, but
It's because of how it's because of how it ground
right.
bounces.
So what this enforces is like what you can do off 2C. If they do tech, now they're susceptible to getting air reset. So like even we'll do up.
This is also actually part of the reason why we can do really weird corner cross-ups, which is our only real mix-up in the corner.
Fuck, I forgot to do what I was gonna do.
You'll see a decent chunk of people just not teching an Adachi safe jump like half the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Like,
forgot to mention you can pick up off of safe jumps.
Oh yeah, what you like? What's the answer to that? Like, what am I supposed to do if they don't tech?
they'll tech. Wait.
Oh,
Or
okay.
if it's a depends on the safe jump setup
And
actually. If it's just like your normal 5AA safe jump, then you can
yeah,
pick them up into a 4.
literally, there's not much you can do unless the hit is very unless you can combo after that hit. You can pick up and continue the
Also, if
combo.
they don't, like, yeah, you can punish them for it, depending on what starter you got. Like, that's why sometimes I'll go for something like this.
Yeah, they'll just not tech and you'll get a full combo.
Yeah. And it hits really hard because it's like
Yeah,
It's just
it's
extra
pretty
damage
you're
good.
doing
for
like
free. Meterless too.
yep. You can do 4K meterless off that type of shit.
But if they're still persistent of not teching, yeah, just wait. Just
You
Okay.
can
do what
also
you'd normally do.
do delayed air dashes to catch them on the. You can do delayed air dashes and shit like that.
You can also,
Pretty
I think
much,
you
you
know,
can
I
do.
think you can also set up 5D if they don't tech
Oh, that-
before
Uh,
the jump. I think so.
maybe.
That's what I usually do. Or when I know they don't tech, I either do that or sweep into stance 2D.
Sorry, I'm
That's
coughing.
Yeah, the another thing I noticed because I was actually looking at this yesterday, the whole like foreskin tech situation. It's because they instead of doing a delayed tech or a tech once you hit the ground, I think 2C and 2D make it so you can't do the first like option to recover, like wait well like holding a direction and button immediately to tech. It comes out delayed anyway, so there's only one delay time. If they don't get that time, then you get them to reset with 2A into tennis.
Shit, sorry, I keep coughing in between.
you're
Yeah,
good.
I think I saw you something about that in the Adachi chat. Uh, do you want to post that type like a video that what you doing
the,
there? I think I could.
the what?
No, Nezo when Nezo was explaining, I think.
Oh,
Was it
okay.
Nezo?
Yes.
Yeah, you want to post something like that? Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to do it now, but just like
I'll
I'll
post
look
that
at
post
it.
before I leave to work. I have to leave to work in like 30 minutes, but I'll do that before I leave.
Yeah, I mean like this is probably gonna end soon, or at least I have to go soon because I have to kind of wake up somewhat early tomorrow. So, and I think I'm the only European here. Wait, no, we got Pika.
No,
Pika.
I'm European.
You're European.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I'd be down to start wrapping this up. I gotta go do other shit too. So
Wait, did anyone
Um.
record?
Yes.
yes, hi, I did.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
So
any questions? Any other questions before we go?
This one's like kind of matchup specific, but how do you deal with Mitsuru JA? You just block it.
You
you
super
go
jump
under
over
it.
it, or yeah, or you go under it.
You
Wait.
you literally sweep it or or you jump over
No,
it.
her
The main way is
JA.
to run under it.
Oh, her J.
That's
Like
how I.
if she challenges me up, like she super jumps with me and in JAs, do I just am I just forced to block?
Yeah, I mean
Maybe
that if you got
enough.
if you that's just like a movement like predictable. What am I trying to say here? That
You're
just
being
comes down to
predictable.
like yeah, that just comes down to like predicting your opponent's movement.
Oh, all right.
Material probably shouldn't be chasing you like that most of the time if you're not being too predictable.
Yeah.
You get a fuck ton of damage just by J being counter hit.
Yeah, you can just JT it if but like Mitsuru's kind of risking something there by chasing you. She doesn't need to chase you most of the time, to be honest. Her buttons just control space in
They
such a
do.
way.
Extremely well.
Sure do.
It's mad annoying.
Mitsuru's a character I know a decent amount because one, for a while, when we didn't have rollback, I had to fight only Europeans. And you know who fucking played the game a lot back then? Lacey.
It was
And
freaky though.
secondly, we got Freaky Lacey, and also I play Mitsuru, so I I think maybe not the most experience with Mitsuru, but I have a decent amount.
Oh shit. It's good.
All right, you want to get some final thoughts out, Jordan? Some want
I
to
would
wrap
just
this
say, I would say, um, keep playing. Go crazy, literally. Go into a match and just experiment, and that's what's gonna get you the most progress. If you have questions, ask them in the chat, the Adachi chat. Try not to focus too much on your combos. Y'all are really, really wrapped up in them combos. I would,
Yeah,
I would encourage you to maybe examine other aspects of the character. That is, if you care. I don't know what all of your goals are in regards to the game or the character. But if you do want to improve, I would say stop focusing on combos as much. Get your fucking like get the combos you need down, like your basic fear setups. Uh, like get like one land cancel combo. They don't need to be super optimal. If you can do the optimals consistently in a match, good for you. Keep doing that. But if I would say just get some simple shit down so you can get in there and you'll practice your combos as you go, as you play anyway. So hop into
all right.
training mode, do 5 minutes of combos, get online, play some games.
Even in a game as explosive and stupid like Persona, bro, you don't need optimal combos because
Yeah,
Also, Adachi currently hits pretty hard. You don't need optimals to kill with his character.
a
He
lot of
is
the
like a
time the player that's just more knowledgeable and has a better understanding of fundamentals will still clap you.
yeah.
It's just because you're more
anyway.
consistent than landing that one 5K land cancel route, and then you just mashed when you knew you were gonna commit, and you died.
Right.
So there's no real point on focusing it. I'd say the only thing you should lab is just getting a safe jump from your combo from your land cancels, and You should be fine.
Yeah, I mean corner carry is nice too.
Yeah,
I like getting the corner carry.
yeah. Getting the optimals down is also like it's not bad once you've already like
But it's like you don't need this stuff, especially at the start.
it's just polishing once you're like kind of bored or want to see what else you can get.
And to anyone who already knows these combos in VC, good for you. You don't really need to lab them that much anymore, though, if you already know them.
Yeah, Adachi's combo structure is not good. Doesn't really like optimizing his combos comes down to getting like an extra 5B hit or something. Like you really can't do. You're kind of helpless on that.
It's more difficulty, and more chances to mess it up for like
Yeah,
the
because
number
you
damage.
start getting into height specific shit and all this garbage, and it's like I'm just
I
gonna
hate,
do the regular land cancel that I know is gonna hit every single time. That's all that matters.
yeah. I see these really cool routes, and I can definitely see them working, but like maybe in a few years we'll be doing that shit. But
If
right now,
you can do all that shit consistently every time,
you might
keep going, buddy. But I can't.
you can do that
It,
if you can do that and also get like a good pressure and all that stuff, then you might be the best Adachi player. So
yeah, but
keep at it.
so far nobody has done that at a competitive level, or no one wants to. I don't
I
know.
think the most optimized high level Adachi is Bashiri, I think.
I haven't seen enough of his footage. I've watched quite a bit of it, but it just he will do some of the weirder shit, but
I will steal his like his setups, bro.
I
uh,
just don't be wanting to optimize that hard for 300 damage. I'm good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
combos,
Anyway,
nah, they've just never been like crazy for like the like if it was like a shadow character where that is your main win condition, getting a one tap combo, sure, go crazy, but you aren't one tapping anyone with this character.
Yep.
the biggest the biggest problem I have with a lot of these combos is I literally forget the routing. Like I literally discovered a way to get like 6K off of a 5A with 125 meter. I just forgot about it. I just
The
can't remember it.
Yeah, I think the actual important thing related to combos is just hit confirming. Uh,
Yeah, that's a good one.
I was really good at him confirming, but nowadays I don't play the game anymore. But that's like one important thing you should know. Just a basic land cancel and a hit confirming, because you will occasionally land hits where you aren't expecting to. You're like, oh shit, gotta
Yeah.
confirm it to damage.
Also, like it's in like with hit confirming all that stuff. Even if you don't route into a land cancel, if you route into a knockdown, you're already doing better than just doing nothing.
Yeah. Just get your safe
But
jump.
anyway, we're just getting stuck in the topic of combos now.
Uh, yeah, no. I
I,
think
I
more
feel like
important with this character
I
is
think
just
that's it.
player
yeah, it's
growth.
like last things to say. Maybe I got some quick shit to say. For the next boot camp, I don't know when that's happening, but could y'all come on time? It's kind of tough for me. I gotta wake up
Yeah.
tomorrow.
We did set a time, and then
Second,
y'all like kind of all had shit to do right at that time.
I mean,
Just
it's
if
fair. I know shit happens, but like,
we should decide on a time that everybody will be prepared for, so we can get started right away, and be
like,
because it's hard enough to coordinate multiple people to be in a VC at once.
and
So
also with time zones and shit, it's just very
yeah,
difficult. Second shit, for the next boot camp, if y'all want to just prepare some questions y'all got,
You guys
maybe
should
some footage we can
probably.
look over.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe probably play some each other or
Also
something.
play, yeah, we
Yeah,
could play
I
each
think
other.
playing each other would also be like I don't know, it could help. see
This
like
has
what the
mainly
fuck
just been the
everyone do.
Jordan thing. This has mainly just
Yeah.
been us yapping at each other most of the time,
I was
answering
eating
all
Subway.
questions. I mean, you talk
We're
though.
we're teaching the children. Okay, it's
I,
fine.
bro, I don't, I, I'll play Grand Blue now, bro. I was a grind monster on this game. I
No,
wish I
but
still played it
you,
though, but it's just too
I know how
infuriating. It's too
you
frustrating.
know how you get that intellectual voice, so that's why we need to hear.
Uh, I'm the
So,
OBS. I'm the OBS man.
yeah, yeah, the OBS man.
I'm just a recorder. Maybe if I
Nah,
still kept playing today, I'd be like cracked the fuck out. But I took like a work
maybe.
break. I took a literal work break.
Nah, look at me, man. I'm still playing and I'm mid as fuck.
Moved out. I'd say you're more consistent than I am, bro. So
No, I know. I'm just hating on myself. That's besides the point. I would say bring some footage next time. Maybe we can play each other. I really think a lot of this stuff, a lot of your problems could be resolved if we look at footage. Also, when you ask questions in the Adachi chat, could you like record your matches and put footage there so that I can like see what you're doing wrong? Because when you ask me or ask generally like shit like what am I supposed to do in the Naoto matchup? I'm just only able to give you general advice without actual footage. That's like my main problem.
Yeah.
Outside of that,
All right.
let me just before we go, let's see if y'all got anything out of this. Just post in the Adachi Bootcamp preparation chat. Did y'all find this useful, or did you just find it us like yapping at each other and acting like we know shit?
Mm, I
Or
mean, I did find it useful mainly because like some of the question that I had were answered. Sometimes I I come across as weird mainly because I ask specific answers that maybe nobody asked. Like I ask specific questions that nobody has an answer to, but most of the times here, I got an answer, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, actually asking specific questions is better because it makes us give you a more concise answer.
Mm, okay, I'll bring some like I have other questions, but I'll bring them the next time, maybe with some footage. So it's
Yeah,
fine.
next time will be ideal. Like, I think next time we'll try to find a better
We'll
time
be
for
more
you. Or
prepared. We'll just be more prepared next time.
this is kind of scuffed. We
The
decided on the
time was
date
stuff. I did this. I decided on this last second. I didn't even know how free I was today to begin with. I was just hoping that things would work out, and
I'm
they
gonna be
did.
real. This is not good because I have to wake up early tomorrow, and now I'm gonna be a little fucked. But it's okay. One day I can fuck myself.
I'll I don't know. I'll probably play the game more just so that I'm not as washed up as I am, bro. I am mega washed. uh
Also, next time we should play, maybe we'll do it. 'Cause, like from what I've watched of the other boot camps, they actually play each other. But this time it was just. But I feel like it is more useful to talk a lot of the time because just playing without any like aim can sometimes just we're just playing casuals and shit, right? It's fun, but I feel like especially with the Adachi mirror, we know our character. It's better to learn about how we deal with other characters a lot of the time.
Right.
Because like it would also help. Yeah, I just think generally bringing footage would help. But that's all.
I've always felt
Um
like I was just more of a player. I've always had more of a player problem than like an Adachi problem. Just being not knowing what the
yeah.
fuck to do, just banging my head against the wall.
This
Uh
is kind of like the intermediate curse, to be honest, though. Once you get past that beginner level, instead of dealing with the character itself, most of the time you're dealing with having to engage people like as players and shit,
oh
right?
yeah, bro. That Shit's mad annoying. Uh,
It took me like 2 years to get over that, to be honest. And even then, I still sometimes struggle.
All right, fellas.
All
I
right.
think we're done here.
Yep. Just bring some questions next time, and that's about it.
Yep.
All right.
that's about it.
I'm just
Thanks
gonna
for coming.
leave this thread active so y'all can just keep talking about shit
Yeah.
and that's about it.
That's about it. See ya.
I Yep. Any other talking we gotta do, we'll just do it through the thread because I gotta go to fucking sleep.
Yeah, I gotta
Bye,
go too.
guys.
All right, bye.